Will the Texas House pass Jocelyn's law? It's May 27th, 2025, and these are your headlines. A set of measures aimed at keeping violent offenders behind bars are being stalled in the Texas House after Democrats refused to provide the votes needed to meet the state's constitutional threshold. Senate Joint Resolution 87, renamed Jocelyn's Law in honor of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungare, who was brutally murdered in Houston last year, received support from a majority of House members, but failed to reach the two-thirds vote required to place a constitutional amendment on the ballot. The resolution, carried by Representative Mitch Little, would amend the Texas Constitution to require judges to deny bail to individuals accused of violent felonies if they had been previously convicted of or were out on bail for similar crimes at the time of the new offense. The measure received 93 votes in favor and 32 against, falling short of the 100 votes needed in the 150-member House to send a constitutional amendment to the voters. SJR 87 gained momentum in the wake of the failure of SJR 1, that's a similar proposal that would have denied bail to illegal aliens accused of certain violent crimes. That resolution also bore the name Jocelyn's Law, but similarly has failed to clear the House. Lawmakers had hoped to salvage the effort by transferring the name to SJR 87, which had somewhat broader bipartisan appeal. SJR 5, meanwhile, passed the chamber earlier this month and would allow judges to deny bail to individuals accused of violent felonies if clear and convincing evidence shows they pose a flight risk or a danger to the public, law enforcement, or victims. With Comptroller Glenn Hager set to take over soon as the Chancellor of Texas A&M University, Governor Greg Abbott's now tasked with appointing his replacement, someone who will serve out the remainder of Hager's term through January of 2027. Among the names being floated at the Capitol is Senator Kelly Hancock, though his record in the Senate has raised concerns among grassroots conservatives and some of his colleagues. Senator Hancock drew ire as one of only two Republican senators who voted with Democrats to remove Attorney General Ken Paxton following his impeachment trial. More recently, during the 2025 legislative session, Hancock was one of 7 Republican senators who voted to gut Senate Bill 19. That was legislation that was supposed to enact a statewide ban on taxpayer-funded lobbying, which was a top priority of the Republican Party of Texas. The amendment he supported added to the bill exemptions for organizations like the Texas Association of School Boards from the prohibition. But despite conservative backlash, sources at the Capitol say Hancock is actively vying for the appointment, which could grant him an advantage if he seeks a full term in 2026. Governor Abbott has not yet signaled who he will choose to fill the vacancy, though an announcement is expected soon. Meanwhile, the race for Comptroller is already taking shape. Former State Senator Don Huffines and current Railroad Commissioner Christy Craddock have both declared their campaigns for the Republican nomination.
What are the important things out there in Texas politics and Texas news that matter to you, and what can you do about it? That's what we want to bring you with the Luke Messia Show on a weekly basis for 20 to 30 minutes. That way you can get the information and go do something for the rest of your week. I look forward to coming to you every Wednesday.
The Texas House has approved a controversial bill to provide hundreds of millions in taxpayer-funded incentives to the film industry, despite opposition from some conservative lawmakers who call it a Hollywood handout. Senate Bill 22, a priority of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, passed the House in a 114-26 vote yesterday on Memorial Day. Carried in the House by Representative Todd Hunter, the legislation is being framed by supporters as a way to boost economic development and bring high-profile productions to the Lone Star State. Hunter described the bill as simply a guardrail program and assured lawmakers that the funds were already allocated in the state's budget. The legislation overhauls the Texas Moving Image Industry Incentive Fund and allows the Music, Film, Television, and Multimedia Office under the governor broad discretion to approve or deny applications based on content. For example, the legislation expressly bars support for projects that portray Texas or Texans negatively or that contain obscene or politically charged content. The goal, according to supporters, is to attract high-dollar productions and related economic activity to Texas, an effort to compete with incentive programs in other states like Georgia and New Mexico. Originally slated at up to $500 million per biennium, an amendment in the House limited that to $300 million, meaning that over the next 10 years, this program could cost $1.5 billion to taxpayers. For more of today's stories, go to texasscorecard.com.